I need a cushion.
You should call that professional use of bowling. Cameras all good? Yeah, bowling.
Hello, everyone.
Cool. Thanks for your time, everyone. Here with Alyssa Healy before the Women's Ashes begins tomorrow with a test match here at Trent Bridge. If you've got any questions, please fire away. Might start with Valkyrie.
Sure. Are you able to confirm today whether the U2 will open? And either way, can you just talk to us a little bit about her preparation?
I can talk to you about her preparation. Yeah, obviously, did a fantastic job for us. Well, looked the goods, that's for sure, in the 3-day match against England. We haven't completely confirmed our 11 just yet. Obviously, with the rain yesterday, we didn't really get a good look at the ground and the wicket in particular. So this media is probably poor timing for you guys. We could have done it after training and tried to confirm it, but we'll have a look at that today. But yeah, look, she's a great option for us up the top. Obviously, there's been a lot spoken about the opportunities up there, and she looks like a brilliant international cricketer for Australia, and I can't wait to see what she can do.
And how are you feeling about this stint as a captain?
Yeah, really excited. I think a sense of nervousness, but I think at the same time it's mainly excitement. I think this is probably one of the most hyped Women's Ashes series that I've been a part of over here. Even just looking how many people are in the room today, it's really exciting. And on the back of what took place yesterday, I mean, it's a really exciting time to be over here to play cricket. So from that sense, I think me and the whole entire group are just ready to get out there and get underway and see what's going to unfold.
LJ?
Yeah, what are the biggest calls that still need to be made on that 11?
I think naturally, if you look at the makeup of our squad, we've got 2 leg spinners. So naturally, I guess looking at the balance of our side and potentially the conditions out there is probably going to dictate where we lean on that. But other than that, I think we're pretty much settled. It's just sort of a couple of calls here and there, and what it looks like from a lineup perspective as well.
Have you had much of a chance to look at the pitch yet, and what are you expecting that it might play like?
Had a little bit of a look yesterday. I mean, the parts all around it were completely flooded, so I didn't want to get too close and put too much water into it. But it looks a pretty good batting wicket from above. I get to have a little further look today, but with a little bit of patchy grass, it wouldn't surprise me if the ball does a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna suit the batters out there, and we'll just have to adapt as we go with the ball.
You've now been part of a few of these multi-format series, so and with the extra day as well. So where does the test fit into that multi-format for you? And now that you've done it a few times.
It's kind of the most exciting part. I mean, all we play is white ball cricket, so having the test match just, I guess, gives it relevance in our calendar if we're putting it in more multi-format series. I actually really love that it's first up. I think it's a great opportunity for 2 groups who don't get to play a lot of red ball cricket to have a real opportunity to prepare for that. Like I said, we play so much white ball cricket. The fact that we're flipping from test match to T20, no one seems to be overly concerned about, because we know what we're doing in that format. So yeah, absolutely love it. I still like the fact that it's worth 4 points. I mean, it's a lot of points up for grabs, and 5 days potentially producing a result. Yeah, it could dictate the way that the white ball series goes, but I think it's great. I mean, we come here to win the big moments and win the big matches, and this one, to get 4 points up early as an Aussie side would be a nice building block.
And just on creating a result in a way, the last time we played in Canberra, some scoring people there.
Yeah.
You just power on both teams to do, and almost it was a great finish in the end. So do you see that's how Tests will be played now?
I hope not. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a lot of conjecture in the change room as to whether or not we would declare and whether or not we'd try and give them a sniff, because it's not really our job to dictate the way that the test match goes. But I think 5 days ultimately could present a result. But I mean, there's draws in 5-day men's games as well, so we can't really assure of that. I think over time, if women's cricket, test cricket, does become more popular on the calendar, I think there's certain nuances to our game that are slightly different to the men, and how you prepare a wicket for a women's test match might be a little bit different, and that'll probably become clearer with more and more cricket on the calendar as to how that might look to potentially get a result. We're obviously not as big as the blokes, so we don't make as many marks on the wicket, so we might just have to have a little creative think about how we can make that happen. But 5 days here, it could be really interesting. It's probably just a mental battle, and it could be a bit of trench warfare at times, but I think we're willing to see how that goes.
Scott and then
When we talk about trench warfare, the bigger the game, it seems you relish it even more. But what is it about games against England in particular that you really enjoy?
They're just a great contest. I mean, England have proven themselves over time, over the time of my career, to be a really great cricketing nation, and the Ashes series is one that, as you're a kid growing up, it's one you want to be a part of. And for us, it encapsulates all three formats, which sort of brings me into the game a little bit more, which is great. But they're just a really great opponent. We know one another really well. I think for the first time, there's probably a sense of unknown about both sides. It's sort of like the next gen banging on the door and giving us a glimpse into, you know, what the Ashes series could look like for the next 10 years moving forward, which is really exciting. But look, I can't wait for the atmosphere. I think what an amazing time to be a female athlete over here in the UK with the support that's I can see and I can feel. So for us as an Aussie group, we're relishing that and excited to be here in the contest.
I've no doubt you cast away over England's starting side. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, aggressive attacking, I absolutely love that. I think that's what they were speaking about wanting to bring, and obviously spending a bit of time with John in the WIPL this year. Just his thoughts on the game and how he wants to play it. It reflects exactly that. It looked like Fowler bowled really well in that 3-day game, and obviously Jess Jonason's in our squad and gave us some good insight into that regard. But she sounds like a really exciting prospect for the future, and we're excited to face that challenge of that bowling attack, but also have to counteract the aggressive nature of that top six in particular. So it's a challenge we're excited for.
we'll go Scott and Jeremy.
You mentioned the 5-day test and whether it might bring back more results, whether it might not. Do you think the Duke's score changes things as well? Obviously, there's been a real shift. Also, most recent tests have been very batting heavy, but batting dominant. Does the Duke's score maybe bring back in favour of bowlers?
I think so. I think in particular the pace bowlers. I think traditionally in Australia with the Kookaburra, it goes soft. And the wickets are pretty good for batting over there. And yes, it gets hard to score at times, but it doesn't offer a whole heap for the bowlers. So yeah, the Duke's ball definitely adds a little bit of extra to it. You've got to get it right. More often than not, you can miss pretty quickly with it, and it races to the boundary, staying hard as much as it does. But I definitely think it brings our paces into the contest longer, and offers probably a few different challenges for the spinners, which is cool.
Did you make much of John's comments that Matt Mott had been assisting? Is there actually much you can share? Do you think that there's lots you can share that can actually helping someone?
I'd be more interested to hear what Motty actually had to say, and how much goss he did give, and whether it was right or wrong. But from all reports, Motty's backtracked and is feeling a little bit embarrassed by potentially giving away anything. So I'll have to have words with him in Cardiff.
Yeah, can I ask a Sappy question? Just having Mitchie, you guys don't get to spend Sappy time together. Having him here to see you captain the country for the first time, so imagine how you got down to the Oval and we're at Edgerton the other day. Is that a really nice feeling to be able to look at him here?
Yeah, and I think not just for me personally, but I think the whole playing group, there's so much family over here this year. Literally everyone's over here watching the men and the women and staying on to watch golf and going to Europe and watching Wimbledon. So all the families are pumped to be here, and I think there's a really great vibe around our group, having that support and having that encouragement, and just having a sense of normality as well, that, cricket is important, but our families are just as important. So I love that feeling, and yeah, sure, Mitch is a part of that, but there's a wider group that I think everyone's pretty chuffed to have around.
Yes, over 80,000 tickets sold for the series and approaching 15,000 for the test match alone. How pleasing is that?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think I've been to Trent Bridge once before, but I just think we remember how amazing it was to watch a game of cricket here, and it's great to see that the locals are jumping in and wanting to be a part of it. So, like I said before, I can really feel it. It's a real buzz about sport and about women's sport in particular over here at the moment, and just my experience from the 100 last year shows, how quickly it's growing. So it's really exciting, and like I said, we know we've got it all against us, whether it be the conditions or the crowds, and it's something that we're really excited for.
And obviously, the start of the men's Ashes has been epic. What are your thoughts on the two Ashes series running in tandem? What kind of fireworks are we going to see tomorrow?
Yeah, I actually really like it. I mean, there's a genuine support from both sides for one another, and a little bit of a crossover, which like we don't really get very often. We're sort of on opposite sides of the world a lot. So the fact they're in the same place at the same time and sort of cheering one another on, and for me, it was a great opportunity to watch Test match cricket at its finest and see, you know, some different, not necessarily the planning and what goes on, but just watching how it all unfolds and how different the styles can be and can be effective. So. Yeah, absolutely love it. I think there's a heap of Aussie support over here as well, which is awesome. I'm sure the walkabout pubs are pretty full.
Cool. Finish with Ollie.
Do you think the potential of home advantage is greater in Test match cricket than it is potentially the limited over stuff?
Home advantage, did you say?
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, we picked up a Duke's ball for the first time about 8 weeks ago, so I'm not sure how much, you know, the girls grew up playing with the Duke and how much they played red ball, so yeah, I think definitely there's more home advantage in the Test match. I think white ball, with the wickets, they're all generally pretty flat. The crowd comes into play probably a little bit more, and you get that sense of a 13th player. But in saying that, I think we'll just combat that as we go.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.